What's up, y'all? My name's Tim Ream. I'm here today on the 107th day of the spring cut. Gonna be doing legs. Got hamstrings, glutes, and quads. I mean, complete entire leg workout. I've already done a couple of the warm-up sets off camera just to kind of spare you guys. One thing I have been putting my hamstrings at the beginning of the workout just so be pre-exhausted as I move throughout all the other leg movements. I feel like it's a good way to bring up a body part and prioritizing that body part is to put it at the beginning. That being said, I've only been hitting kind of minimal sets on quads. I'm going to pump up the quad volume a little bit, just a little bit there at the end, put a little bit more emphasis on it. Still kind of figuring out this routine and how it should unravel and all that stuff the correct way, most productive way. That being said, everything is set up and we're just going to get right into it here. We're going to start over here with the seated leg curls for the hamstrings. Do a couple of those sets and then we're going to start moving pretty rapidly into all the other exercises we have today. On the working set last week, I went up with weight a little bit too high. Don't feel like I got as focused and everything out of the movement basically that I could. So I'm gonna try to drop weight a little bit more, keep that form down just to get that much more isolation on the hamstring this week. So kind of learning from my mistakes here, failing forward on a few of these, but it is what it is. New routine, it's kind of to be expected. So this is actually my favorite leg routine that I've ever worked. So I mean, all of my years of just kind of figuring stuff out and all of that, they've kind of culminated into this. So I feel like I've got the best layout and progression that I've ever had. So pretty proud with it. I'll switch it up a little bit whenever I start bulking. I'm going to do a lot more compound movements rather than isolation. They'll still be in there, but they're going to take the back burner a little bit. So definitely looking to get in there. Looking forward to doing that on the bulking phase. And I've definitely been losing a little bit of motivation to work out, especially on this leg day for some reason. Actually, I was supposed to do it yesterday and it was about to rain. So I just didn't want to get in the middle of filming with the door open and rain come in. I just didn't really know what I was going to encounter. So I didn't work out yesterday. Just like did walking and some really light stuff, which a deload day ain't going to be bad, but I'm just saying, I have been kind of dreading getting in here a little bit, so just I think a caloric dimension more than anything. Plus I got other stuff going on like video editing and all that shit. So it's like I want to focus on that and I've got to kind of break rhythm to get out here. So I still want to do this, but I could have it broke up in the day a little bit different and probably work better, but I work, so it's just I got to kind of shove it in where I can. Emphasize a good stretch there at the end to get those hamstrings extended really good, and then squeeze really hard whenever you get to that bottom, and just try to kind of stay in that rhythm and motion.
When you start to go down that rabbit hole, when you start to go down, you can pick yourself up at any moment with these simple daily habits.
All right, let's start bumping up weight. I'm gonna do one more warm-up set, and then we'll blast the set home to failure. Like I said, I want to get these good and kind of pre-exhausted before I go into these other exercises for hamstrings, or for legs. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. I'm kind of holding two opposing views in my head right now with muscle growth. Basically, there is a theory where you need to wait longer in between sets and don't do pre-exhaustive sets. And then there's a theory that, if you pre-exhaust and move in more rapidly in between each exercise and you collapse that time, then it's more intense. So I'm really wanting to kind of try out both theories to see which one I think is actually the most productive muscle building. I think maybe waiting more time in between might be more productive, just because if you got more time in between, then you actually can carry more of a load each time. So it's like the difference in me coming back from one set to the next, 75% recovered, or I'm actually 100% recovered. And if you're doing that with about 6 different exercises, you might be bumping up your workload, 30%. And it might actually make that much of a difference. So it's one thing that has been thrown out and tossed out to me that I'm going to definitely kind of take into account and start kind of working off of the theories just to kind of weed them out. in between the two just to see which one actually is probably the most productive. So, you know, I'm just gonna try it out here. Working up, pyramiding up in weight just to find that weight we can do kind of to our set to failure. Keeping right on the verge of what we can and cannot do. Have to probably help out with some assisted reps there at the end, but I feel like that's really, once you find that peak, you can operate on that. Once you get into those failure sets, and you are really presenting your body something new that it has to cope with that it's never seen before. So I feel like that's right there is weightlifting 101. Progressive overload in reps, weight, time, duration, or something to expose your body to something new. And I heard something really, really interesting last night too. And basically, the guy was talking about if you're trying a new routine, well, okay, you tried that routine. Did you gain weight? Well, no, I didn't gain any weight. Well, that literally means that you didn't even have the fuel for your workout. Like if you didn't even have the food there to test out the theory, like you could do and go through the routine, but if you don't have the essential building blocks there to put the bump on the muscle and build back, then you don't actually know whether it's productive or not. So unless you're in kind of at least a little bit of a calorie surplus, 300 to 500 calories, you know, and you actually kind of backfill, I don't know, then you can't actually make an educated guess to whether a routine was effective or whether it wasn't effective. Because the second part of that equation, stimulus, then you got the nutrition and rest. Well, if nutrition ain't there, boom, it doesn't matter. You're not getting bigger. You can't create something from nothing. So it's just like, I mean, it's something that's very logical, but it's overlooked. And you can kind of get into the whole thing. You can just kind of rush that process and not think much of it. But if that's not there, dude, it's not going anywhere. All right, sets to failure here.
So then we got your you teach me to teach others to do this. 3,500 in my program. Now it makes about 300 coaching other fathers. And not even that, the purpose. His wife started Warrior Mom Fitness, where she's helping other people. About 50,000 months, he's doing about 350, 400,000 months. They live down the street from my mansion in a mansion where he used to be a firefighter. What the else could it ever be? I have everything. I'm only free right now. I'm free when I'm building me, and I know the intention is to help. When I'm actually helping others and giving this love, this time. I'm free now. When I'm going over numbers and this and that, I am not free. Like, I literally sent out 175. I've sent out like 200,000 things that I have to pay people after this. It's nothing. I consistently pay out 200, 400, 600. You know, I mean, large amounts of money all the time, but I'm bringing in a lot. So it's all relative. We were speaking about no benefits and things, but you know, it's not just about you. You've got staff, you've got
Alright. So you always just want to kind of operate right on the verge of what your body's capable of. Oh, okay. Move into single leg curls for hamstrings. Keep that symmetry and balance across each side of the body here. At least that's the theory behind it.
So it's never sort of love you to take it. So I consider the source first off. And I really just understand that people hate on what they gave up on. And they're hating on directly the area which they gave up on in their life. It's a mirror. They're looking at your life and hating on that area where they grew, where they failed. It's what it has to
Dude, and what is crazy is I did have a leg day to where I was doing hamstrings in an AM session and then quads in a PM session, or vice versa. But basically both the front and back of the legs in the same day, just split up. And now that I have done this full leg routine where it's the hamstrings, glutes, and the quads all in one session, I swear to God, I feel like my legs are actually bigger just in about 3 weeks of doing it. And there's only one other variable that I can think of that might account for it, and it's because I'm losing weight too. And I'm looking more defined, and I can feel the muscle more than I can whenever it was covered up by an inch of fucking fat. But I do actually feel like they're getting bigger, dude, just within about three sessions of doing this. Last week kind of had a little bit of a deload week, which most people would think the more frequently you work out, the better. But really, like Tom Platz, I kind of covered this in one of the last videos, but he was like known as the quad father, had some of the most developed legs ever. And he literally worked out his legs twice a month. Like, it was just so intense whenever he did do it. He found out that to actually get fully recovered, it took him literally 2 fucking weeks, bro. So people, I think, really underestimate how much minimum volume is actually required to see big strength and muscle increases. I think most people are just trying to rush it too fast. And if they would slow down and just listen to their body, listen to when it recovers. Okay, let's just wait until it recovers. Let's wait until I've actually gained strength again in the gym before I work out again, rather than just ideally, let's go in here every 3 days or an arbitrary number of days. Like, it doesn't necessarily work like that. Like, we are all the same in the fact that to stimulate growth, you have to take your body past its previous limitation. That's going to be the same with each person. But each person is going to be different as far as recovery ability goes. Somebody might have a little bit more recovery ability than another person. So that right there is going to be a little bit different from person to person. Not to go into this set here. Pretty sure we're working at about where my max is. If I can remember correctly with the weight I used last time.
Financially to help them. I just want to make up $2 million a month. There's no way you can make 40 grand. Your life changes at 50 grand. If you can make 50 grand profit a month, your life is deeply changed. You don't have to make money. I don't think my life changed that much from 500,000 to 2.5 million. Now I just argue that if it's better. Sometimes it's like mine. You'd rather make less and profit more than to make so much and eat up the profits with expenses that are growth expenses. So I've grown so quickly that the profit margins are slowly dropping. Not a lot. I still am not going to get 80. I'm profit about 80%. But before it was like 90%. Even it was all profit. And this was just because it was so organic. But now as you grow, and when you make $100,000 bucks, you have to spend 40. I make about $100,000 a day. How do you spend $40,000 a day if you don't have an office full of people that are on payroll and you have a shitload of shit going on? So maybe you gotta take a $40,000 private now. By the time you're behind, by the time you made $100,000 for like 30 days straight almost, you're like, what the fuck? I have to go buy a jet. I have to go buy a jet or another Phantom or something. I have 5 Rolls Royces for a reason. I mean, I don't even these cars are rented. You have paper plates on them. All my cars are paid for cash. Like, oh, they're all rented? They're all paid for. I would be, you know how much it would cost to rent these cars? Are people stupid? They know how much it would cost to rent an Aventador for 1 day. It's going to be $2,500. So, okay, so I rent that every day. Jesus. They're like, well, it's leased. They won't lease me that shit. I've been in prison forever. My credit is not for it.
And Arthur Jones, he was one of the pioneers of high-intensity training. And he said that in all of his clinical research, he built the Nautilus machines. Like, the dude was very scientific, observer, and participator in exercise. And he said basically the most productive leg routine to build muscle is 50 to 100 reps. And he said, it's not a very enjoyable way to train, but we found it is the most productive. It's kind of just crazy. And he also said that the legs are kind of one of those muscles where, say you can do like, 100 pounds for like 30 reps all out. We said if you drop like just 10%, then just that window right there might give you another like 20 reps or some shit in the tank. He said just that little window, it's different from all the other muscles in the body where it can actually take a little bit less of a workload and it multiplies the amount of range you can get exponentially. So it's just, I don't know, it was on my mind while I was doing these. I am going to do one more set here. Just I want to really hammer these hamstrings here.
Tell the viewers from day one how fast you rose and the mindset of investing into yourself and how then that changed. Because again, you said 3 years. You're more blended in there. You just said you can't have the time.
Okay.
You have the money, you just don't have the credit. So cash. So please take us back to that mindset because there's a lot of people sitting there being like, I can't do myself. But they don't realize that they can step by step by doing it. Because I wasn't even drawn to the money. The thing is, profit does solve it. If you make enough money, you can solve it. You can solve your personal development. Make enough money. Then you have more time to work on it. My whole thing was, I would have walked to the gym. Canned chicken. I would have just ate literally.
Okay, I am satisfied I went to failure on that one. Kind of had that deload week last week, and I feel like I kind of slacked a little bit, so I'm wanting to really come back in here this week and make sure I put some nasty emphasis on what I'm doing this week. Next, we're going to do Romanian deadlift. I'm basically have hit hamstrings. This is a hamstring workout, but this is going to hit all the back. Okay, so we're going to start warming up the glutes with this exercise as well too. And then whenever we go into the next exercise, which is the Bulgarian split squat, it's going to be very, very glute and kind of quad focused. More on glutes though, so I'm kind of pre-exhausting the muscle group that I'm trying to work next with the exercise that I'm doing right now. That's what I'm trying to say basically. Keeping a good flow. Back, up, to the glute, to the front, to the quad. I keep forgetting to build that platform until I get in here. Starting out with 25s because unlike the 45s, I can get, an extra 2 or 3 inches at the bottom with that stretch. So if I can at least introduce that burn kind of with the deep stretch on the first warm-up set, then I feel like, once I move up and weight a little bit, then it drives it home, even though I can't get the total stretch that I would like to with the heavier weight. But if I can at least do it with the first set, then I feel better about it.
Every time I pitch someone my service, you get turned down because they can't afford it. They now know what it costs. They can wait, save up, they can look elsewhere, they can try elsewhere, they can do whatever. But the thing is, they know about it, they know what it costs, and they see me still on my private. So as I rise, they remember, he DM'd me personally 3 years. I want to see.
Kind of walked out of here last week. Usually in this leg routine, I feel glutes in my hamstrings for 3-4 days after that. Whenever I walked out of here the next day, I kind of felt it a little bit the next day, but soreness is to me an indication that muscle was actually stimulated. For some people to say it's not necessary to get sore, and you can get sore with doing a shitload of reps, and you can and not stimulate growth because you quit at your limit. And then you can do like heavy ass weight and for like 5 reps or something and not be sore, but you actually did push your max. But I feel like the pump and the soreness is actually an indication that I actually at least did stimulate that muscle group. So I like to walk out of here. If I know I gave each and every single workout or exercise within the workout the best that I could, then if I walk out of here for the next 4 days and I'm sore, then I just feel like I fucking drove that one home. So I know I kept my volume pretty low, and I know I took my working set to failure on each one. So how can't you stimulate growth if you went past what you did last time? Switch this out and do another feeler slash pre-exhaustive set.
I can't remember what the question was, but I totally agree with you. We went way on. Yeah, but I love that. I don't know. So podcast always wants up. Do you know? No, your pain is a prerequisite to your purpose. And the thing is I still know pain greatly. I'm glad I do. I'm not.
I can really feel those. I could be wrong, but I feel like your grip strength is never going to exceed what your legs can do. Your grip strength probably isn't really necessarily going to exceed ever what your back muscles can do on pull downs. To limit those legs and the back workouts to the grip strength, if I can do 200 with my back, but I can only hold 150, why am I going to limit, the potential of my back with my grip strength? So why don't I just use straps to make sure that grip strength don't fail and I can actually take my back to failure? So I don't think it's ever actually going to reach a point where your grip strength is stronger than these heavy fucking lifts that you're going to do with your legs. I mean, the forearm versus your leg muscle, I don't think it's ever really going to get there. I think I was trying to get somewhere that I actually couldn't go, was to get my grip strength up to where I could actually withstand a lot of these workouts, but I'm not really even going to focus on it right now. I'm just going to use the straps. But
it's called conscious auto-suggestion. There's a main thing in your life that needs to change. Conscious auto-suggestion is the way. You have to tell yourself all day, the test is coming. If I fail, I'm a bitch. If I fail, I'm a bitch. The test is coming. The test is coming. If I fail, I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch. Ask you.
okay.
Kids are real truth. They'll just see a dope card, it makes them feel a certain way. And when adults see a certain card, it makes them feel a certain way. Yeah, that's inspired or insecure. Someone who gets insecure by financial success is a rich, broad lane, and someone who gets inspired by financial success is an honest individual. Because the person who's smart enough could say, well, I don't want to necessarily have 5 Rolls Royces, but I want enough money to be able to take my family on good trips and be able to not stress about bills and shit. So I mean, that person's just aware of it. He doesn't need to hate on your choice of the money. He needs to just say, how do I make that money? I'm going to apply it my own way. I'm going to save all the dogs. But that's actually what one of my homies does. He made so much money as like helping dogs and stuff like that, and gambling and all this shit. He's like super successful. But at the end of who the guy is, if you don't like him or not, he's very good. And you waking up, you still have that mentality of always first. In the chow line, first, right? And that mentality is comes straight from is the biggest thing. Yeah, I mean, the way you show your own is by your program, by the way you show each day. So every day is always up first. I was always first every day before we left the door. Always first.
These things are fucking brutal. Especially if once you get down, you fucking dip into that stretch real good and spring up, catch a negative down. Motherfucker.
Never swayed on your diet. Never swayed on your business. Never swayed on these things. It would be completely impossible to believe that you would be able to. So that's the premise behind it. I need the for sure. I don't want to be able to, like a lot of these guys' content's like, oh, but you can still be successful and do this. I don't want to be that. I beat you. I gave more.
You got 2 exercises left. This next one is the hardest. It's just a heavy squat. 1 or 2 warm-up sets with a heavy set to failure. Cardio can definitely become a limiting factor when legs are concerned. You're working a bigger muscle, you're gonna take more oxygen, and you just exert yourself more too, so catch 20-20 on it. But I was saying that you actually release a lot of testosterone whenever you do legs. If you're skipping leg day, you're missing out on that testosterone boost, and you're just missing out on building the center mass of your body, or the lower half, which is like almost the bigger half, and your base. So skipping leg day is kind of a double negative. Not a good idea. Who wants to be top heavy? Big old fucking upper body and little bitty stick legs? I mean, if anything, you probably want a bigger base. And a triangle, A triangle is the most stable shape in nature. If you pour sand on the ground, it's going to go right into a cone. You know, the base is wider, it's just more durable. Oh, all right. Catch my breath here, and then I'm going to go into these squats before I can think too long about it. Oh, shit. And honestly,
so after we did a really high intensity like gym training, where we were just doing arms back and forth with push-ups, and really breathing heavy. And we did so like that's why burpees work so well for us, because you're getting so much blood flow, and you're breathing super heavy. The only thing even Gary Brecka says that he does on a plane flight, where he feels like he's like, and my new I'm going to the laboratory after 100 air squats.
I'm doing 3 of these. Pyramid nothing weight to heavy set to failure. My mind is like, quit what you're doing right now. Shit fucking hurts. But I'm gonna do it. Regardless, if I've gotta take 2-3 minutes in between sets, that's what I'm gonna fucking do. I'm getting it done. I am with the Bulgarian split squat. That was pretty much the peak of the workout as far as exercises go. And now I am on the downhill descent. Squats, leg extensions, and then single leg extensions. So I have passed the halfway mark. Probably 15 minutes left or something. I need to get some better warming up with my quads and my knees before I move into this movement maybe. Might be good to do leg extension before I do these. Do double leg extension, do squats, and then go back to single leg just to finish out the thing. But I got to get my knees a little bit more warmed up. I can definitely feel a little bit of pain. I mean, it's probably very mild, but I can feel it. Yeah, that's not good.
But I was still missing the real meat and potatoes. My BMO never really grew. I didn't put enough time into it. I'm kind of genetically hindered in a few muscle groups. But there were some areas I didn't put the years in to grow essentially how I wanted to. But my arms and my quads, like my vastus lateralis, my outer quad, and my bis and tris, and like my upper chest veins and my shoulders. Man, when I would go eat, like I would deplete my carbs for a few days before
Gonna hit a heavy set to failure on this here. That'll be it for squats.
Going back, there's one by the pool right here. Then there's a billiard shot. That's what I'm talking about. I used to read this magazine over and over. I would see Pecks forearms. I trained forearms every day when I was in prison. I would train forearms every day. I would do a high rep day. Try everything. I would make bags behind the back, wrist curls, front wrist curls on just jacked. What type of man really needs it in this lifetime?
Here, one more.
When you told me that story, it was like, wow. Just see the fight. Now just remember everything.
You know, when working out in a fasted state before legs, probably ain't too good of a habit. It's probably why I feel so goddamn exhausted. I don't have any carbs in my body. I don't have anything to run off of, but just my reserves. But I do feel like it's a good weight loss strategy. Probably not the best workout strategy. Your body, for anaerobic training, burns mostly sugar and carbohydrates and glucose for its fuel source. Not protein, not fat. Sugars and carbohydrates. So if you don't have them, you can imagine. Alright.
We respect Braveheart, like going to war, blood on your face, killing. None of you guys have even, you guys are calling it a problem not getting your way. You guys refer to adversity as not getting your way. That's just not getting your way. True adversity is when you're going to yard every day, and every day someone's getting stabbed. In California prison, every day, last 10 minutes, there's cleanup. Every single time you go to yard, the last 10 minutes, people get stabbed. They don't know it's going to happen because these are dope deaths. Problems. There's like
just hitting one pre-exhaustive set before I go to go in that main set to failure here. Just get them good and burning before I hit that one. That's all I'm doing. Alright.
As your profile has grown, obviously so has your audience base, and there's a bunch of love in this chat. There's gratitude, you're motivating people to go to the gym, but there's also hate. And I'm curious how you manage that hate. Do you ignore the hate, or do you use it as a consensus and see how the feedback is?
It's loud. I mean, they talk about stuff they haven't even done. People are like, oh, those cars are right. You just said that I'm bad. That means I paid 20 grand to get my cars. That must be crazy. Way more than that. These are people who are so undereducated. What's the matter with you, bitch? That's the thing. And nobody can get a stand on that. People just beat the charge and they get money. These are all lies. I mean, no, you can't. If I buy something that I like, I'd be like, send it. My money back. The same thing that people they want to say it's like very close to real. Imagine all the shit these real famous people do. But I mean, they just want clickbait. They won't get paid. If you go off I can have no more videos, they get no views. But when they say West Rocks and they get a lot of views, do you not understand what they're doing? Yeah. Oh, it's just everyone's so negative that they like to draw more. They're like, oh, cool, draw. It's because they've never really
So that is day 107, quads, glutes, and hamstrings. Legs are a little bit of a weak point of mine, so I ain't really been showing them off like I do my upper body all over social media. It actually used to be a really big strong point of mine before I had back surgeries and, did 5 years of just constant drugs with no training. It tends to happen. You don't use it, you lose it, so I'm rebuilding them again. So in the next 5-6 months, maybe I'll be comfortable enough to show them off. I know this is a productive leg routine because I can feel it for the next 4 fucking days afterwards. And then I work out again on the 6th. So that being said, that is the intense leg workout on day 107, spring cut. I appreciate you guys who are following along with me, engaging with me in the comments. If you like the way that I take you through the workouts and the way that I break them down, I just ask you to please share, like, and subscribe. If you don't like them, that's cool too. We'll part as friends. Guys, I'm gonna start giving out some of my knowledge to you guys. So go to the About section of my YouTube page. You can find my email. Get a hold of me there or in the comments if you're wanting to try to figure out your macros, figure out a good workout routine, figure out your spring cut or your bulk. That being said, I appreciate you guys. If I'm not back with you tomorrow, then I'll be back with you the next day on back. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Peace.